So today I put out a series of tweets and asked the people, the subscribers, uh, what what should I do for the next video. It's come out, in recent hours. I saw the breaking news. Adrian Broner will fight Mikey Garcia at a catch weight of 140 pounds. Uh, as as far as I'm aware, Garcia gets to keep his belt, and it will be a non-title fight. Got asked to do a few other stuff. Billy Joe Saunders undercard. Dave Allen's comeback. So we'll do kind of a roundup video. We'll discuss obviously Broner versus Garcia as sort of the main topic of the show for tonight, and we'll kind of discuss the other stuff in conjunction with that. So yeah, Broner versus Garcia is a fabulous fight. Don't get me wrong. Two very stylish sort of opponents. Garcia is probably the more fundamentally sound boxer. I don't know if you want to say that, but from the eye test, it looks that way. Broner is definitely the flashier. With his hand speed and his combinations, very very fast when he puts it together. But this fight, in terms of it being a good fight, it depends on Adrian Broner making the weight. As we all know, Adrian Broner struggles to make 140 pounds for whatever reason. For me, he's not a big welterweight. He's kind of stuck in between light welterweight and welterweight in terms of frame. He's not a small guy in terms of his stature, but in terms of height, he's quite small in comparison to the other top 147 guys, and it kind of shows because there's a stat that he's undefeated at 140 pounds or below, and so that makes for an actual interesting dynamic in this fight. For me, Mikey Garcia has obviously been moving through the weights as well. Featherweight, super featherweight, lightweight, and he'll be moving up to light welterweight for this fight. For me, Mikey Garcia is a very good fighter in his own right. He's a fantastic fighter, and for me, I'd probably favour him just in this fight. Due to punch output, his jab is very snappy, and for me, he's got a bit of momentum as well in his career with the big win against Degale and even though it was, I think, over a year ago now, if I'm correct, but. Yeah, so I would favour Garcia only because of that, and I don't know how Broner's going to make the weight. But you know what? It's a really really good fight. It's one that definitely is sure to break down over over the coming weeks and months, and yeah, it'll just be a great fight. I think in terms of the actual just talent on show is really good, and I think credit to Showtime who are showing this, and they were in talks for this fight, so you have to give Showtime immense credit for trying to get this fight on, especially with two top fighters in two different weight classes. To be honest, obviously Broner fought last time at 147. That's another sort of issue against Adrian Granados. He didn't look particularly great, to be honest, and Garcia obviously, as mentioned, he fought Zlatan and he got a brutal third round knockout. So yeah, for me it's one of those intriguing fights. I'd go with Mikey Garcia myself, but some of the other guys in sort of the boxing forums and on YouTube and whatnot will probably call it right down the middle. But as I said, initial thoughts are probably towards Mikey Garcia for me. It's good that he gets to keep his belt, because I think him versus Jorge Linares would be a fantastic fight as well, if that fight were to come to fruition, because I do think that fight is slightly further away now, only due to Garcia moving up in weight, and Jorge Linares having a potential mandatory in Luke Campbell. If that ever comes to fruition, that will be sooner or later. Jorge Linares must be licking his lips thinking, you know what, I got another Eddie Hearn fighter to slaughter, I guess, in one way or another, but not literally, metaphorically, of course. But yeah, it will be interesting to see if they do fight. I know Linares has got the diamond belt or something like that, WBC version, so he's basically mandated to face Garcia at any time or something like that. I don't know if that's still the case. So if when this has gone up, if that has changed on the 1st of June, please do let me know if that circumstance has changed. But I'd love to see Linares versus Garcia. It'd be a fantastic fight. Some of the other stuff I got asked about, Billy Joe Saunders undercard. I've seen bits and pieces of it. I mean, Anthony Yarde will be on it, Daniel Dubois will be on it. I'm just not sure how strong it will be as the main event. I think Frank will probably put a lot of his eggs into the main event, Katsides versus Billy Joe Saunders. And yeah, it's one of those fights that, if a peak Billy Joe Saunders comes up, a fresh, hungry Billy Joe Saunders, and who's made the weight well, then Billy Joe Saunders should win this fight handily. But the undercard, obviously, since they're going to put a lot of stock into the main event, it'll be at the Copper Box, so any Londoners who wish to go should go. It will probably be a decent-ish event, similar to maybe how the Walsh-Davis fight was. So yeah, it would be, if the tickets are cheap, then I might consider going myself. Big fan of Saunders when he turns up in shape, and he can talk the talk. Let's put it that way. When he is fit, he does walk the walk. Maybe we haven't seen it against a Golovkin or Canelo, but if the winner of that does decide they want another belt, Billy Joe Saunders is there if he doesn't get stripped. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that goes. As I said, undercard, we don't really know too much. It's Dubois, Yarde. It'll probably be like some other guys, Leon Woodstock. Some other guys, some other Frank prospects, Mitchell Smith. So I'm not really expecting too much, to be honest, from the undercard. If we get Yarde in a good fight and we learn a bit more, then it'll be good stuff. If we get Daniel Dubois in a slight step up against a durable journeyman, that'll be good, so we can learn something from him, what he needs to improve on, what they both need to improve on. So yeah, or if there's any good fights on the undercard, I will be pleased. But Frank always has a knack of putting these fights that don't really tend to be barn burners and turn out to be fight of the year candidates. Similar to Craig Poxon versus Boy Jones Jr. or Darryl Williams versus Jermaine Smile. Really, really, really good fights. So they turn into absolute barn burners. So Frank has a knack for that. So got to give him some credit where it's due, I guess. So yeah, shout out to Frank Warren on that. So hopefully, if Frank does listen to this, which I doubt, but yeah, if he does, then hopefully we get some decent fights on the undercard, some learning fights for his prospects as well. That'll be really good stuff. One or two other stuff that I want to cover. Let me just quickly pull up my Twitter, and we can kind of discuss from there. Eubank versus Abraham is something else that might be close. Do you know what? I really have no interest in Chris Eubank Jr. I don't really have anything positive to say on him. The other day he tweeted about Kell Brook quitting or something like that. He vehemently ducked Golovkin. So yeah, I don't really have time for the guy. His old man, he just makes me laugh due to the lisp, to be honest. That might seem a bit harsh, but yeah, Eubank, the Eubanks, even plural, they're a comedy act sometimes, and it's just a bit pathetic, to be honest. I don't really want to give him the airtime on my show, and yeah, he probably beat Abraham fairly decisively, to be honest. But whether or not it's over here on ITV pay-per-view we don't know yet. So the details aren't out. Obviously, they say it might be close, but whether or not it'll be for the IBO strap as well, his inverted commas world title. So we'll have to wait and see for that. Someone's asking Degale versus Groves. What will happen with Degale since Groves is out for a while now with a broken jaw? As we all know, George Groves now suffered a broken jaw in the third round against Fedor Chudinov in his WBA Super World Super Middleweight title win. Just had to get that WBA Super bit in there because of how bad it is. Degale's obviously going to be out for a bit. There were rumbles that he probably faced Callum Smith just for the IBF belt, but obviously Callum Smith's got a date with Anthony Durrell for the WBC in September. So Degale really needs to get a voluntary under his belt. He's been out for the better part of almost 6 months now after the Badou Jack fight. So obviously he had a draw in that fight. Depending on how his health is, I know he had the tooth knocked out, and he took a bit of a pasting at times in that fight. His face was very marked up in terms of a pasting. His face was really, really. He had quite a lot of swelling even, and he just looked a bit busted up. So depending on how he feels, I guess it'll be interesting to see where and how he comes back and who he comes back against. Obviously, Durrell is mandatory now, and after the Uzcatsky sort of controversy, so whether or not a rematch will happen in that fight, that's different. But a Durrell rematch, I'd pick Degale. Durrell, he just looks a bit shot, to be honest. It doesn't look like the same Durrell that faced someone like a Carl Froch or an Arthur Abraham. So I'd pick Degale if that was to happen. But do think it'll probably be like a voluntary in the IBF rankings. I'm not sure who it is in the IBF rankings or how they're ranked at 168. So I'm sure Eddie has a plan for him, and he'll probably find someone and make Degale look good and make him have a bit of a homecoming in the UK. One or two more things. I think the other one was just Stevenson versus Fonfara and Japanese boxers in the lower weight classes. Japanese boxers in the lighter weight classes, there's not too much to discuss. There's you have some really good guys. Naoya Inoue, who's a super flyweight world champion. Takahiro Ao, who's a decent fighter. And there's so many Rex. So there's so many Japanese fighters that go under the radar. So if anyone does have time and they love the boxing, do watch these sort of guys. If you need more information, tweet me or come on the comment section. I can guide you in the right direction. I don't watch all the lighter weight classes, but I do watch a fair bit in comparison to the others. So I will try and cover them, on separate sort of shows and give them their own sort of time slot, because I do think some of the guys, especially Inoue, deserve their credit. And I do think someone like Inoue is probably the best at super flyweight from just the eye test alone. I do think he's better than Gonzalez. I just think he's naturally bigger as well. He's got all the skills. His third round sort of demolition job of Omar Narvaez, who is a very respected world champion, is testament to how good Naoya Inoue looks and potentially is. And lastly, Stevenson versus Fonfara. Not too much to say on this. Stevenson, he should win, KO or points. Obviously, the first fight went to points, but this rematch, if Stevenson wants to make a statement, he should go for a KO. But I'd pick Stevenson to win. Fonfara has had a few wars in the meantime. He's had a bad loss to Joe Smith Jr., an absolute tear up with Nathan Cleverly. So I wouldn't. And he did struggle quite a bit with Chad Dawson as well. So I'd expect Stevenson to win fairly handily, to be honest. But yeah, I don't want to talk too much about that fight. I think it's this weekend and pretty boring fight, to be honest. So yeah, I'm not really interested in that. But I thought I'd cover it since it was mentioned. So that's kind of the list for tonight's show. Will go up on the channel on the 1st of June. So yeah, just if you can, take your time to listen, share it, you know, subscribe to the channel, give the thumbs up. It really helps the channel. And just want to give a quick shout out. I know I did in the live show, but you know, the live shows are a bit of a different format. We talk about so many different things in a short space of time. This one was definitely more concise. So I just wanted to give a big shout out to the people who have stayed subscribed to the channel. You know, support it regularly. You know, share it on social media. I get so many retweets sometimes, and I really appreciate it. So yeah, for me, I really appreciate it. I can't thank you guys enough, and just keep on supporting the channel. We're you know, we're definitely getting there. We're getting back to where we used to be in terms of regular uploads and just general enjoyment for the channel. To be honest, I do want to do different things with the videos and the boxing, so I do enjoy it. And yeah, I really appreciate again the support, and just keep doing it, man. And all the haters as well, keep doing that too. I love it even more. It spurs me on. So yeah, big shout out to everyone who tunes in. And yeah, that calls it for the night. And yeah, we'll be back. We'll do another one of these, and I'm looking for a controversial sort of video. So tweet me your thoughts about that, and I'm going to do something different with that video. I think you lot will be interested in that video, or have a, you know, different sort of background theme or something like that. So yeah, just tweet me with that, and give us a shout on my Twitter, which will be in the description below. Thanks all, and speak very soon. Peace.